Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a drawing using the Derwent sketchpad and the Derwent Inktense color pencils. I wanted to get the 72 color set, which is their full range, but unfortunately none of my local art supply stores had the 72 set, so I kinda had to settle for the 36 set instead. So these are the colors. You will see when I do the sketch just how outstanding these pencils are. These colors are so vibrant. I'm doing the sketch of a leaf. I couldn't get a picture of the one that I'm drawing here, but I'm using a real leaf as my reference. As you can see, I am freehanding this on paper. If you're not too comfortable with that, you can place the leaf on your paper and trace it. Tracing is a great way to learn to draw. I generally don't approach a subject too seriously, so even if I am using a reference, I don't like to draw it exactly as it is in the reference. I give myself space to do changes as I like. So even if I trace something, I will do it very loosely in a way that's enough for me to get the initial sketch down on paper. I personally find this approach helpful, especially if you're new to drawing, because that takes a lot of pressure off your mind. You can feel more free to make mistakes and be creative in your own way if you're not strictly following a reference. Alright, so I am doing the shading now. I started this off as a pencil sketch, so that's why I'm shading using the pencil. Now I'm tracing over my pencil sketch using a Pigma Micron pen. This is the Sakura Pigma Micron pen. These pens produce waterproof fine lines. They come in different sizes and shapes. There are brush pens as well. I have about 15 of these in different sizes. These marks don't fade at all. They are archivable. You can't erase them and they can't be lifted with water either. You will notice that a lot of pencil sketches fade with time because the pencil pigment tends to move unless you use some kind of fixative on them. So sketch artists like to use pens like these micron pens because these marks are permanent. The reason why I am going over my pencil sketch with the micron pen is because the Derwent Inktense pencils are water soluble. I'll be using water to blend the color pencils, and I want the sketch to stay put when I apply water and blend the colors. So you don't really have to do a pencil sketch and then go over it with the micron pen. You can directly sketch using the micron pen. It's just that the pen is permanent and I'm not very familiar with drawing, so I want to be able to erase my mistakes. That's why I'm doing it this way. Alright, now to the fun part. I'm going to do the coloring. I'm applying a yellowish green to the stems and the veins of the leaf. This color is, let me see. It's called Sherbet Lemon, the name of the color. It doesn't look like much when you apply it dry on the paper, but look how bright and vibrant it becomes when I blend it with my water brush. You might not pick it up that clearly on camera, but you will see when we apply the rest of the colors just how vibrant these colors are. Now I'm applying the greens. This is a fallen leaf, so it had both green and red in it. This is a particular type of leaf that are fully green when they are young, but as they age, they turn into a very beautiful deep red tone. Anyway, back to the painting. These pencils are called Inktense, which means that they are made using an ink medium. So they are different to the usual water-soluble pencils like the Prismacolor pencils, for example. I think only Derwent makes ink-based pencils like these. That makes these pencils kind of unique. They are made in a different way than your usual water soluble pencils. I think it's because they are ink based that they produce such amazing color vibrance that you can't achieve with other kinds of color pencils. So let me read out something from the pencil box. It says, pencil to ink in just one wash. Derwent Inktense combines the vibrancy of ink with the subtlety of pencils. Apply rich, deep, dry color and then wash out to create pure and translucent ink-like effect. That's exactly the experience I have got with these pencils. So what they have said in their pencil box is exactly right. There doesn't seem to be much of a variation between different color codes. That's a bit of a surprise because I have a limited palette here. I did not get the 72 or the 48 color sets. In a 72 set, I can understand that some colors might have only a slight difference between each other, but in a 36 set, I expect to be more of a variation. Now, I can't really say without doing a color chart, so I'll be doing that pretty soon. This is just something I noticed when I was doing this painting and had to use all of the red shades that I have in my set. Almost all of them looked kind of similar. This is a comment I have seen coming up from other users as well, but I thought that was because most of them were using the 72 color set. The 72 has twice as many pencils as this one, so I thought it was natural for some colors to be a little bit similar to each other in a bigger set like that, but it seems to be the same for the 36 set as well, so that's a bit of a surprise. Another thing to notice is that the vibrance of these colors don't fade much after they dry, so that's a good thing. Most water-soluble mediums like watercolors lose some of the initial color vibrance when they dry. When you apply the color with water, they are usually very bright, but watercolors become lighter when they dry. I have noticed this in acrylic paint as well. But Derwent pencils manage to retain almost the same brightness in them even after they have completely dried. They became lighter ever so slightly. I personally like to see bold colors in my paintings. That's just my personal style. So I'm really happy with the way these colors have turned out. Another thing to mention here is that these pencils are supposed to be permanent. That means once they dry, they can't be lifted with water. But I have heard a lot of users complain saying that these colors are not permanent, and I think they are quite right. My personal experience has also been the same. These colors moved a little bit even after they have dried, so I don't think they are completely permanent. But I also noticed that it's hard to move the pigment fully after they have dried, unlike most other water-soluble mediums. So although they might not be completely permanent, personally I'm satisfied with the way they behaved. I did 2 layers in this painting and I did not have any problems with the first layer when I was applying the second layer on top of it. And I used 2 ways to apply and blend these pencils. One is to apply them dry on the paper and then blend with water. The second method is to wet your surface with water first and then apply the pencil directly on the wet surface. I have found that the second method gives you better results, probably because you are passing more pigment over to the paper in the second method than the first one. There's a third way also. As I'm doing here, you can use your water brush to directly scoop color off the tip of the pencil. I'm just touching the pencil tip with the water brush, but notice just how much pigment comes off. So the pigment levels in these pencils are super high. You can probably use a set like this for years because just a little bit of this pencil contains so much pigment, you won't have to use them up too fast. So although these might be a little bit pricey initially, you will be saving a lot in the long run.